それで私は一番若かったし、とても子供っぽかったし、他の人はもう役者になるんだと思って結構ストイックに頑張っていたのに、なんかちょっとガキっぽいっていうか、そんな感じだったかもしれません。
Now, I was, of course, the youngest out of everybody that was there, and many of my seniors were very stoic men and women that were adamant in their desire to pursue a career in theater acting. And, you know, in that environment, looking back at it now, it does seem to be that I myself was rather, you know, timid and maybe a little bit immature about, you know, what I wanted to do, but that's just, you know, my interests were a little in that direction.
そして2年間の養成期間を終えたときに、私は選ばれませんでした。
So after the 2-year process of the training center program, when the program was ended, you get selected, and I wasn't chosen to be part of the production company after the training.
で、校長先生がでどうすると言ったときに、先生、私本当は声優になりたいんですと言いました。
Now, at that time, the principal came up to me and said, you know, well, what would you like to do? You weren't able to make it here. So what do you want to do? And I timidly answered, you know, actually, principal, I wanted to be a voice actress. A really small, timid voice.
先生は、なんでもっと早く言わなかったんだと言いました。
Well, why didn't you say so? She asked.
なれるのと思いました。
Well, at that point, it's like, what? I really can become one? You know.
そしていきなりプロダクションに入れてもらいました。
And suddenly I was found myself a member of a production group before I knew it.
何にもできないのに、いきなり今日からプロの声優だよと言われても、私には何もできなかったんです。
No, frankly, you know, they suddenly told me that now I'm a professional voice actress, and I really didn't realize what the hell I was supposed to do, and I wasn't sure what it entailed and such.
そしてプロだと言われても技術も何もないし、ギャラだけは一応お値段がこの体にと声について並べられたんです。他の役者さんと一緒に。
Now, you know, suddenly I find myself a professional, but I really wasn't skilled. You know, I didn't have refinement in how to do this. But before, you know, they had a price tag attached to my image and my body regarding and you know, just listed along the other human resources that production company offered as part of their package.
でも、坂本千佳、誰も知らないの私のことを。
But nobody knew who Chika Sakamoto, you know, myself, who I was.
で、いろんなオーディションにも呼ばれませんでした。オーディションにさえも呼ばれませんでした。
So I found myself in this position where I wasn't even invited to auditions.
その時に初めてなんかこう悔しさっていうか、何にもしてない自分が嫌になって、養成所に通っていた2年間よりも、私は芝居が好きだったんだっていうことに初めて気がつきました。
At that point, you know, there was a lot of bitterness that was going through myself, and I was anguished. But I suddenly realized that, well, you know, that was 2 years that I spent in the training center. Well, I guess there was a time, while I was in that training center, I had grew a strong attachment to drama.
だから芝居舞台もやったし、なんか急にこう積極的になった自分がいました。
So I like playing characters and I like to be doing performances. So I suddenly found myself wanting, eager, and aggressively pursuing this line of work. Now,
なんか表現したい、やりたいっていう気持ちがすごく初めて前に出てきたのがその時だと思います。
I think that was the first time in my life where the desire to perform in front of others became really strong, and I was compelled to follow through on that desire.
そうするとやっぱりこうちゃんと神様は見ていて、私にチャンスを与えてくれました。
I suppose there's a heavenly spirit somewhere above us that recognized the fact that I had changed my mind and I wanted to be a lot more aggressively pursuing this, and smiled upon me and gave me an opportunity and a lucky break.
こう何にもしていなかったから、ここにすごくエネルギーが溜まっていて、オーディションに行くだけでこう大きな声で何かセリフを言う、それだけでもうオーディションに受かろうが落ちようがそんなことはどうでもよくて、表現をするということだけで、ああさっぱりしたという感じで帰っていました、うちに。
A lot of energy was pent up within me because I really didn't have a chance to perform much. So when I would be called upon auditions to perform in front of others, there was an opportunity to be really expressive and voice out, my performing voice. And I wasn't as interested in, of course I wanted to be accepted, but it was the act of performing in front of others in these auditions that in itself was very worthwhile. So after these auditions, I would get back and I would feel great at home being able to do those performances.
そして初めてオーディションに受かったんです。それからこう何かみんながこう私を見てくれているっていう感じになって、そのチャンスをつなげてきたという感じです。
Now, eventually I was able to land a position, I was able to make a lucky break in an audition and finally make it. And that was when, I felt that, wow, somebody does look at myself and does recognize that I'm something that they want to use as part of what they want to do, and I felt much better in that, that recognition was established.
ここでちょっと聞きたいんですけれども、小さい時アニメが大好きでアニメを見ていたということなんだけれども、大好きだったアニメーションをいくつか教えてくれますか？
Now, we came about talking about how many of us enjoy animation when we were very young, and but if you don't mind, could you be nice enough to tell us some of the animation shows that you really like? Please just go ahead and raise your hands and say it out. Yes, go ahead.
No. I asked to her.
はい、狼少年ケン
Wolf Boy Ken.
がお化けのキータロウとか、
Q-Taro the Ghost is something I enjoy.
パーマンとか、あとアンデルセン物語。
The Tales of Anderson.
Hans Christian Andersen.
Anderson, and yes, thank you. Hans Andersen, Chris Anderson.
そのぐらいになってくると僕も分かってくるんですけれども、実際に日本のアニメーションの初期の作品をちかさんは見てこられました。
So, Ms. Chika, one on those subjects, something I actually relate to, but Ms. Sakamoto was watching many pieces of animation that was in the early years of Japanese animation history.
ところで僕がどうして声優になったかというのはもう少し、簡潔にお話しすることができます。
Now, how I became a voice actor is something that I can relate to in a little shorter stance.
まず高校の時からずっと演劇を続けていました。
Now, back when I was in high school, I was doing performance in dramatic arts.
である時、プロの役者になろうと思って一大決心をしました。
At one point, I decided I wanted to be a professional performer.
とも本当はいくつかの優れた劇団に行きたかったんですけれども、自分の力を顧みるとそういうとこはちょっと無理だなと思いました。
Now, I really wanted to enroll, land a position in one of the more prestigious and well-known production companies in Japan. But looking at my abilities and skills, I felt that I wasn't up to par with them.
その正直さが僕を助けてくれました。
I suppose that kind of honesty about myself helped me out quite a bit.
そして僕が選んだ劇団に素晴らしい人がいたんです。
Now, the production company that I chose to become a member of was filled with people that were wonderful and superb.